Hey guys, Olga here. Welcome to the Journey to Happy podcast. This episode is all about cleaning our own energy. I'm going to explain to you what that is. I'm going to dive into how to do it, why is it good to do it, and most importantly, I'm going to bring to you some awareness on some of the problems you might be feeling that you don't know come from not having clean energy. For example, feeling a lot of guilt and resentment and obligation and fear when you're operating, when you're doing the things that you do on your everyday life. And you're going to get out of there. I'm just going to walk you out of that. But before we get started, I wanted to tell you about something very exciting that is happening this November. And I've never done it before, so I think it's super special and I want to tell you about it. I am going to allow early enrollment for both of my coaching programs. Reset Your Mindset. The next cohort starts in February of 2023. However, during the month of November 28th, 27th, and 29th, I'm going to allow for early enrollment, which you might be wondering, why would I want to sign up a few months before the course or the coaching actually starts? Here's why. First of all, it gives you immediate access to the mindset content in the library. These are all of the videos with all of my mindset teachings, plus all the extras that are in there, all the master classes that I've ever taught, interviews with experts. You essentially begin to get the help immediately. But also, it gives you an extra few months to spread your payments if you're paying with payment plan. So the program is $2,000 for 3 months. And this way, signing up in November, you will have a total of 6 months to pay for those $2,000. So it's pretty amazing. And I'm also opening early enrollment for becoming the CEO of your own life. This is my 12-month program. This is a full year program that includes 2 one-on-ones a month with me, plus 3 group calls as a group a month. And it is like just one of the most comprehensive coaching programs that I engage in. So that one starts in early January of 2023. And we're doing early enrollment in November 15th, 16th, and 17th. The added value for you signing up early is, again, that you have an extra couple of months to get access to things, but also to pay extra. And you have an extra 2 months to spread your payments. So that's all in the show notes. You can head over there. You can see the link for Reset or becoming the CEO of your own life, whichever interests you the most. And you can also sign up to just get a free call with me if you've got questions about what will be a best fit for you. Just so that you know, becoming the CEO of your own life will not open again until 2024. So it is now early enrollment or in January, or you get to wait another full year before you can sign up for that. All right, let's dive in. Steps to clean your energy. So there is a teaching tool that I do, a mindset tool that I teach in my programs that is called thought work. And it is a process that comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, where we pay attention to thoughts that we have that may impact the way we feel. And then it impacts the behaviors we have and also our results, like the things we end up having or not having or experiencing in life because of those thoughts, because of those feelings, because of those behaviors. And in fact, we spend a lot of our time cleaning our mind, cleaning the thoughts, noticing the behaviors that come, and integrating that change. That's what my coaching is all about, helping people think differently so that the results can be different. What I've seen time after time after time is that no matter how well my clients follow this tool, which is proven to work, it's not my doing, it's not my invention. This has been researched and it's been used to even treat severe anxiety, PTSD, OCD. So we know it works. And I noticed that Sometimes, if my clients don't have clean energy, even the best of tools will fail them, will not serve them, will not work for them. And so I've become really curious to look into this cleaning of their energy, my energy, before not only before looking for solutions to the way I'm thinking, which is what we focus on in my coaching, but just in general. I read a quote once that said, "Your energy introduces you before you even speak." When you enter the room, your energy already has done an introduction of who you are. And I think that's so true. Tell me if you've never been in a place where somebody walks in and you have never talked to them one word, but you can already feel that they don't want to talk to anybody or that they want to talk to everybody. Just the other day, I was renewing my license and there was this person walking in, huffing and puffing and just dragging her feet and with papers in her hands and looking at the time and going like, "Ah," like it was so evident to me that she was so not happy to be there. She was not going to be a pleasant person to talk to. And sure enough, she was before me, and I could just, the first interaction she had with the person helping her was one of frustration. And it was evident to me before she spoke, her energy introduced her. So a lot of the work I do is to help people get out of their own mental drama, the stories that they told themselves in their head that they believe to be true without any evidence, and they begin to operate based on that truth that they just made up in their head. And often I ask them, so what is the energy that you've brought up into that scenario? When we look at what happened that made you feel guilty or whatever feeling you had, or upset or frustrated, what was the energy that you were bringing into that environment before the incident even happened? And what I notice is that a lot of the times they will reflect and say, you know what? I had a fight with my husband in the morning. So when I walk into the office, I was really with a bit of an attitude. But in the moment, we're so unconscious of this. And so when we get to the office after having had an argument with our husband and feeling defeated, upset, not loved, whatever feeling came up out of that fight, and you're walking into the office and somebody makes a minor mistake, or somebody doesn't say hi, or somebody comments on, you forgot to do this, and you respond to them awfully with two rocks in your hands, chances are that you didn't check with your energy, that you didn't clean it before you went to work after having that incident. Now, I want you to think of this just in all areas of your life. How often do you move from one task to the next in autopilot mode, meaning you didn't really stop to think, oh, I'm leaving work, I'm now jumping into motherhood or into wifehood or into yoga, and I'm going to clean my energy before I transition. We don't do it. So this episode is all about cleaning our energy for a variety of reasons. But what motivated me was to help people clean their energy so that they can actually achieve successfully the outcomes that they want. I think that so much of getting what we want, not only physically, but emotionally and professionally and in any kind of aspect of life, when we think about setting goals, I think that so much of getting there is tied to the energy being clean, that our intention was in alignment with our heart, with what the reason we want to do the thing or we want to have the thing, and that it all works out because our energy is just open to that. So when you think about a goal that you're currently working, maybe that's to create more balance in your life, or maybe that's to make more money, or to find a love partner, or to move up positions, or to whatever. I could just go on with examples. The motive or the reason that motivates you to your goal has to come from a clean energy. or else you will lack consistency and enjoyment while working towards this goal. Think about it. Think about the goals that you might have that you impose on yourself because you think they will make your mom happy. I had one like this where I had imposed on myself to speak to somebody on a regular basis, somebody who I don't have anything in common. I do not enjoy their company. I'm pretty sure they don't enjoy my company either. But I was doing it because it, I know if I was close to this person, my mom will be happy. It will make her really happy. And for a long time, years actually, I engaged in going for supper or to the movies or inviting this person over to my house to do something, or even texting or in a phone call. And every time I would leave that interaction feeling like, I hate this. I am drained. This is terrible. But and I knew my heart would want to not do it, but then I would feel guilt and an obligation. Anything I should just maybe make it clear what is clean energy is when you're operating mindfully and your energy is free of guilt, resentment, obligation, or anything that we can tie it up to fear. And by the way, anger is fear. Okay, they're like the same emotion. So when we're operating from not a clean energy, we don't show up as our most authentic version, but also we half show up because half of us doesn't want to be there. Just the other day, I had noticed that a team member was not the same person. Her work was not the same. Her quality of work, her speed by which she was getting back to me was not the same. Things felt different, change. And when I called her for a meeting to talk about her performance, and really I was talking about her energy, the energy she was bringing into her work, it was easy to see in her work that her energy was not in. Only until I called her into this meeting was she able to just express all of her frustration. So she's self-employed. She creates her own contracts, and her and I have had the same contract for years. And suddenly she had a thought that wasn't fair, that this needed to be changed, that I needed to be paying her more, that our conditions of work needed to change. But not once did she communicate this with me. Her having these thoughts, unbeknown to her, changed her energy and changed her work. And it was making it very unpleasant on my end to work with her because I could feel this heavy energy. And if I could put it into her own words, she would have said that she felt obligated to continue to work with me. Get this, only because she was avoiding having a conversation with me that said, my terms have changed. This is how I'd like to work with you now. To which, by the way, I was totally happy and open to, so long as this energy will stop. Okay, so that is to give you an example of what not clean energy is. We're not ourselves. And I give her a lot of grace because I know this, she's not acting like herself. This isn't her, but she's got learning lessons to do. And so that's one of them. Her energy changed before she was able to have that conversation, and it showed. So I want to talk about this for you. What aspects of your life you sort of feel that you show up without a clean energy? Maybe your motive for having a friendship is not that you really enjoy that friend, but you enjoy what that friend brings with her. To give you another example, a friend of mine wanted to travel to New York, and she invited this one friend, not because she enjoys her company, but because she's also single and likely able to travel. And this way she wouldn't have to cover the cost of her hotels all by herself. When this friend said no, and in fact went with another friend to New York at a different time, but like 2 weeks apart, This one friend that I'm telling you about was very upset and took it very personally and was really mad. And I was asking her to reflect on the reason she even asked her to begin with, because she doesn't even love spending time. The trips would have been completely different because they're so different. When one would have loved to go on to all the museums, the other one would have loved to have gone to all the bars. They were just on the same page. But the only reason she wanted this friend to go was so that she wouldn't have to pay so much, and she was willing to, quote unquote, put up with not having the ideal travel partner. That's not clean energy. That's you not being honest with yourself as to why you're doing the thing that you're doing, what the goal was. And also to just clarify that that could be a goal. I want to pay less money to go to my trip. And if you're not clear what the goal is, sometimes you end up looking for the wrong solution because you're not in clean energy. Okay, so those are some examples of not having clean energy. Bringing you back to thought work, that process that we do to clean our thoughts. I ask my clients to do a whole sequence of an event. So let's say that your dad sent you a message saying, you were late for supper. Not sure why I came up with that example. And let's say that you had a whole lot of thoughts about this and feelings, and that at the end of the day, you end up in an argument with your dad because of that. What we will do, thought work, is to create that as an event. So dad told me I was late. It's an event. And then we write down all the thoughts you had about that event. And when you're writing all these thoughts, which, by the way, you're free to do this, I call it a thought download. You write down all the thoughts about the situation that happened that made you have strong feelings. And then you go into what behaviors happened after that and what was the end result of that, of feeling, of thinking, and then feeling, and then behaving this way. This case was an argument with the dad, my made up example. Later, I asked them to go back to the same event because it hasn't changed, but to change the results to what they would have loved the results to have been instead of an argument with the dad. And so let's say this person says, well, I would have loved to just have a conversation and be okay and not have taken it personally. That becomes the goal, my friends. So if you're doing this for yourself, even if you don't have an event that just happened that upset you or gave you strong emotions, just think about your goals. What goal do you have? To not take things personally, to not move too fast when meeting somebody or dating somebody, to eat less of the foods that make you really bloated. That was one of mine for a long time, still is. It's an ongoing goal. To exercise 2 times a week. Think of that goal and think of all the thoughts you have about that goal, good, bad, and ugly, all of them. And then think about what would be my desire, my really, like, what would be the thing that I would absolutely love to have with regards to this goal? What would be the ideal result? And when you get to it, ask yourself, what will be the self energy? What will be my own energy? What would I need to do, to feel, to be, to express even before I enter the room? Who would I need to be? And cleaning the energy is all about aligning. It's an alignment of what's in your head, your thoughts, with what's in your feelings and in your behavior, so that the result is cohesive of what you want. When your energy is not clean, you might say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Your thoughts say, you can't, I hate you. You've always failed. This doesn't work. Your behavior is going to be one that some days doesn't eat anything. The next day eats everything, back and forth, yo, 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 yo. And the results might be that you don't see a weight increase or a weight decrease. And then if we say, what energy did you have when you set the intention? When you said you wanted to lose weight? Maybe you're going to tell me that you were feeling like I had to do it, or else I'm not going to be loved, or I had to do it, or else my mom will be disappointed, or I had to do it because my neighbor is so skinny, or my roommate is so skinny, and like I feel awful. Something making your energy not clean to begin with. The moment you set up this goal, the energy wasn't clean. So, how do we clean this energy? First step, as always, in everything I teach you, you create awareness that you're not in clean energy, that you're having some sort of emotion that is guiding you that doesn't feel right. This is some fear or guilt or resentment or obligation. That especially, I feel that sense of obligation shows up a lot, or that you feel you're needy, or that you feel you're rushing things. You're in a rush. Like for the longest time, I felt really impatient. That was my energy, was impatience, and I wanted to rush. I still do. I still have to self-constrain myself from not rushing through life. I just want to get there, do things fast, and that's not clean energy. Not necessarily. Not when I sit down to meditate with the energy of it's got to happen now and perfect. Not the right energy. So, how do you, first of all, like I said, I want you to just sort of think for yourself if you can understand already what not clean energy is, if you can remember feeling this. When you're saying yes to help a friend, but you're already going in thinking, look at all that I do for you, and you didn't do anything. But I'm not going to say no because God knows if you're going to talk to me ever again, right? That's not helping somebody for the beauty of wanting to help somebody, but because you feel that otherwise they won't talk to you ever again. So you've been there. You think you've cleaned your energy, you talk to yourself, and you're like, okay, enough is enough. This is it. You're doing it and you're gonna like it, and it's the way it is. I call this autopilot. Okay. You just take actions and you apply them unintentionally. It's like I've done this my entire life. I pleased everybody my entire life. We have this dynamic with my mom where she tells me what she wants me to do, and I do it, even though I hate it. And that's the way it's going to be. Autopilot, even though you have some awareness. To clean the energy, you have to take autopilot off, turn it off, and you need to begin to intentionally clean your energy by processing. And that is, trust me, as the person who's not patient, takes time. So when I say to you, download all the thoughts you have, I really mean it. And then you begin to think, okay, if all these thoughts make me feel like obligated, guilty, and my goal would be to not feel that, to say no guilt-free. That's my goal, my ultimate goal. I would absolutely love to say no guilt-free. Before you can begin to think of what new thoughts could I have so that I can say no guilt-free, you really, truly need to clean the energy that has brought you to always saying yes. Okay, there's an energy that stays with you. And that energy needs to be mobilized and moved out of you so that new energy can come in. When you've been doing something in autopilot for a long time, it's a mental habit and you just do it automatically. You don't even know. However, when you decide that you want to clean that energy, you're going to have to look into these thoughts, how they make you feel, and you're going to have to let that energy through your body. Like you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the resentment, the guilt, the anger, whatever shows up as you're looking at these thoughts, you're going to feel it fully. And you're going to process it. You're going to start asking yourself, like, how has this been helpful to me so far? Like, what has been sexy about behaving this way, thinking this way, that has kept me in it time after time after time? How has this been helpful to me? Because even if it is worry, what we're talking about, and we all can say is not helpful, there is a part of you that has found it helpful for something, so it keeps using it. And when you feel that you're done feeling this way, thinking this way, that energy no longer serves you. When you really feel that, you have cleaned your energy. And then you can go back into dawn energy. So let me just give you some. I sent this by email the other day, and I think you might like it. One of the steps that I highly suggest is that you journal. Journaling is, you have no idea how helpful it is to clean your energy. Like journaling before you meet with somebody that you're not so excited about meeting, or that you're nervous about, or that you think you normally have like big encounters with that you don't love. Or, a friend is very needy and you're going to have to say no, but you don't want to. I want you to journal. One of the things we have this need to help everybody, to do all the things, to please all the people, is because we feel that we cannot take the unpleasant feeling that might come with somebody being disappointed. But what if you can? What if you begin to think that you're actually able to overcome that, to feel it? So journaling is such an effective way to take a look at your thoughts, because your thoughts bring you to clarity and of course to clean energy eventually. So the first step is to observe and notice the quality of your thoughts, all of these thoughts that you downloaded, before you start the goal, the project, the task, before you say yes to a friend. And by the way, guys, if you're the kind of person who says yes all the time and you don't want that anymore, give yourself a little buffer before saying yes so that you have time to do this exercise. When next time your friend who you don't like so much wants you to go for coffee and she sends you a text or calls you, tell her, can I get back to you? I need to check with my husband. I need to check my calendar. I think I have something on that date, or like I might be, let me just get back to you. So my favorite question is to ask myself to learn if my energy is clean, because sometimes it's so sneaky. You're like, I swear to God, I was helping this person out of good energy, clean energy. But really, when you were to look inside, you're like, shit, I wasn't. I was afraid that we're not going to be my friends anymore. So if I wasn't afraid of fill in the blank, will I still care for this goal? Will I still do this? If I wasn't afraid of upsetting this friend, would I still go for that coffee? Okay, so I said, if I wasn't afraid of fill in the blank, you will know what you're afraid of. Will you still be doing that? What's my main motivator to doing this? What moves me to doing this? And that's when you're going to say that if there is no clean energy in this question is when when it's going to show up. You're going to know, why am I doing this? Why am I helping my mom with her garden? Because I'm afraid she's going to break her back. Because I'm afraid she's going to be disappointed. She's going to be mad at me if I don't. Something like this. Why now? Like, why is this important to you now? Why are you doing this now? Why are you not saying what you think? Why now? Oh, I like this one. How did you come up with this goal? What happened that made you choose this as your goal? So what was happening before? How did you come up with a goal, with a task? How do you come up with moving your friend to a new apartment in a different city? And sometimes my clients are, well, I didn't, they ask me. And if it was as though the question wasn't even asked, but that it had been an order. Sometimes we forget that when we get asked something, we have choices. So, but we're doing this with you. So what made you come up with your goal? Like maybe your goal is to lose weight. What made you come up with that goal? What's your reason? Which, by the way, I find with my clients who are trying to lose weight, they would normally, if they are struggling and I ask them, what was your goal? None of them is very appealing to them. Like what made you come up with this goal is not an appealing reason, which is where the real problem is. Is the outcome of this goal important enough for me to be willing to sacrifice time, money, resources, and anything else needed to get there? When you don't have clean energy, it's going to be a hard no to all of them. If that goal didn't come to life, what would be the consequence for me personally? And lastly, is there fear or guilt in my motivation to doing this goal? I want to say not having clean energy is not necessarily a bad thing once you know it, because once you know it, you know that this energy is telling you that you don't want to do something, or that the reason you're doing it is not the right one, or that you're on autopilot. So once you become aware, you're out of autopilot and you get to choose and decide. Okay. And then what I would say, step 2 to cleaning your energy after all of that awareness is to take some time and decide for yourself, what will this goal look like if you were to embrace it from a place of it is done energy? So step 2 is actually what I call the done energy. And it is a whole chapter in my Reset Your Mindset coaching program. And it is something that we practice quite a bit inside Becoming the CEO as well. So let's say that your goal was to stop pleasing everybody. And truly, this is what will make you so happy. What are all the reasons you love this goal for yourself? And imagine that you begin to work towards that goal as though you were already, it's done. I am not a people pleaser. Although I absolutely love to make people happy, like that's in my DNA, I love it. I am not a people pleaser. And that doesn't mean that I don't help a lot of people, and that as a result of helping and being who I am, many people get to be pleased. But I never just please somebody because I feel that they need to be pleased. It's got to please me first. And that's why I clean my energy. And I suggest that you do it too. And to this date, I still have to. I was doing this not long ago, which is what made me have the idea to help you with that podcast on this as well. I was cleaning my own energy before starting a project because I was noticing that I had like this desire to not celebrate any little win that I was making towards my goal. I was in a rush. I was like becoming really not myself, really obsessive, but also impatient and unfriendly, all the things, because I was so focused on my goal and this has to be it. And although I still have the same goal and I love my goal, which is also important for you to hear, I didn't change my goal. I changed my approach because I was having this fear of failure if I didn't make it to my goal. And it was based on that fear of failure that I was operating. And that energy wasn't clean and it was bringing me nothing, exhaustion. That's it. So embark on doing this work by deciding that it's going to work and that in fact it's already working. Decide that you will not quit or let any distractions get on the way because this process will be fun and helpful to you. So bring intention into your process as opposed to autopilot, robot. My whole family has always done this. This is who we are. We're just angry people. We react. We're all anxious. And just bring your heart. Bring your heart. How would I be doing this with my heart? How will my heart be saying no? Who will benefit if I was to be more intentional? If I was to be so precise, so, I don't want to say careful, but so intentional of the moments I say yes and the moments that I say no, what would that mean to me? What would I want to make it mean to me? What would it mean to the people I do choose to please because it pleases me, to have my yes when I am there, to have my presence? And that, my friends, is a difference. So this is the type of work that we do inside Becoming the CEO of Your Own Life specifically. We start the basics of this work in Reset. And you don't have to reset to come to becoming the CEO. Eventually you catch up and like know all of this is based on the same principles that I use to help people coach. But having clean energy is so empowering to you, because then you stop blaming others, you stop blaming the weather for what you're feeling, how you're feeling. You stop pointing the finger or just thinking like it's an impossibility for you to change, because you're going to start noticing, hey, I've got 30 energy when I'm engaging in this. Anytime I say I'm going, it's Christmas, I have a client who at Christmas says she eats like a pig. And so as Christmas is approaching, she's starting to like insult herself and tell herself all kinds of things, because she knows she's going to eat all the baked goods, and she's going to, and so she brings such a dark energy to something that so many of us just bring so much joy. It's Christmas. We get to eat all the baking goods. We get to enjoy meals with family. And if we gain weight, it's totally okay. That's what January is for, to do all the other things. So it is so much of your success, of your enjoyment, of, because goals are what they are. They're just a process in life. Goals is like the carrot that's at the end of the road that we think we want. And it is in the walking of that trail to a carrot that we live our life, right? That's what goals are for, so that we're just purposefully connected to our day to day. So it's not a matter of like making it to the goal, but it's that energy that you have as you're walking towards that goal. And I have to say, our energy is not forever clean or forever dirty. It's a constant of clean, dirty, as is constantly attached to your thoughts, which is why I focus so much on teaching this process to my clients, so that they can do intentional thought work, so they can intentionally be working on that future self, so that they intentionally can be enjoying this moment, even if it's presenting with a lot of difficulties. And it is possible. We do it. I've done it. I do it. I've done it successfully. I do it successfully. I never want you to think it's a done deal. You do it once and it's done. And I'm seeing this with the ladies I coach. So it's just you don't have to believe it, but put it to test and see what happens. So as a reminder, the next cohort of Becoming the CEO of Your Own Life begins in January of 2023, but we have an early enrollment November 15th, 16th, and 17th, which allows you to just have an extra 2 months of payment. So the $10,000 that the program is worth for the year gets to be divided into 14 months instead of 12 if you're doing payment plans, which brings down your payments to $700 a month. And the same goes for Reset Your Mindset. That's a 12-week program, a 3-month program that is cost $2,000. And if you do your early enrollment, November 28th, 29th, and 30th, you get immediate access to the content of the mindset videos, and you get an extra 3 months to spread out your $2,000 payments. So it's a win-win, whatever way you look at it. So head over to the show notes and sign up. Sign up for whichever you want to sign up for. Talk to you guys soon. Bye now.